I took a day trip to Hong Kong and just walking around the city made me look at Singapore's property market a little differently. Welcome to episode 1 of a 3-part series called Property Lessons Hong Kong versus Singapore Edition. In each episode, I'll share one observation from Hong Kong and my takeaway about property back home to Singapore. Hong Kong and Singapore have a lot in common. Both are global financial hubs, both have limited land, and people have an impression that both have expensive housing. But if you compare how the two property markets have behaved over the past few years, they've been quite different. And I wanted to understand why. I'm Deb, helping you make data-driven decisions for your next property move. One of the biggest differences isn't actually the buildings, it's the housing system behind them. In Hong Kong, home ownership is around 50%. Many residents live in public rental housing, while others purchase subsidized homes through schemes like the Home Ownership Scheme. Singapore took a different approach. Around 90% of residents own the homes that they live in, and about 8 in 10 resident households live in HDB flats. Neither system is inherently better. They were designed with different housing objectives. But that difference has important implications for how each property market behaves. When most households already own a home, they're generally less exposed to rising rents and aren't forced into buying because housing has suddenly become unaffordable. Instead, many Singaporeans move through a structured housing ladder. Think of BTO, condos, and sometimes landed homes as well. As homeowners build equity over time, many eventually upgrade into the private market. That means a significant portion of demand for private property isn't coming from first-time buyers. It's coming from existing homeowners upgrading through the system. That creates a broader and more resilient demand base. Housing supply isn't left entirely to market forces. The government releases land through the Government Land Sales Program while maintaining a continuous pipeline of BTO projects. Which matters because if housing supply falls behind demand for too long, prices can rise much faster than incomes. By progressively releasing land and continuously building homes, supply can respond more steadily as demand changes. On the demand side, Singapore also introduces measures like tighter loan limits and additional buyer stamp duty when necessary. Together, these policies influence both supply and demand. The objective is to reduce extreme volatility and encourage more sustainable long-term growth. So when people ask why these two markets behave so differently, demand doesn't tell the full story. The systems behind them are fundamentally different. Higher home ownership creates a larger pool of future private property buyers, and a structured housing ladder supports long-term demand. Active management of both supply and demand helps reduce extreme market swings. So here's the lesson I reflected upon walking through Hong Kong streets. Instead of comparing the prices between two cities, compare the systems behind them. Because apart from moving based on demand, markets also move based on how they're designed. My team has helped over 1,000 buyers make investment decisions grounded in data. If you're trying to understand how Singapore's housing system influences long-term property values, feel free to drop me a DM. This was episode 1 of Property Lessons Hong Kong versus Singapore Edition. I'll see you in episode 2.